This episode of Boing Boing TV is brought to you by Verizon.
It is really nice to get home, although somewhat humbling because you get here and you realize that, like, this entire shelf and then all of these books here, they're the pile of books that I promised people I would read that they mailed me while I was away. It's like a year's worth of reading, and I have no idea when I'm going to get to them all. But at the same time, it's cool because you also get home and you get stuff like this. This is, I've just got 3 boxes of these things. These are 10 CD sets of Blackstone Audio's recordings of the Twilight Zone radio dramas that Stacy Keach hosted. And they've got people like Lou Diamond Phillips and Jane Seymour in them. All these actually very good actors of various description. Acting out the original Rod Serling scripts with Keach doing Serling. So I've just finished ripping those. It sort of took most of the day to rip 30 CDs, and they're ready. They're on the hard drive. Here's the computer. This is a little where is it? There it is. It's a little X61 Lenovo tablet that I bought from Emperor Linux. They're preloaded Linux on laptops company. They do great support too. So I just finished ripping that. I'm going to be listening to those. Look for the reviews on Boing Boing soon. The other thing that came in the post today is this. This is the British cover for Little Brother. How sweet is that? Before I read, I want to show you this. How cool are these? I got these in New York. These are made of graphite. They're graphite sculptures. This is a piece of bamboo. Here's a ram's horn and a carrot. So they're made of graphite. They're treated with a non-smudge surface, but they're pencils. The whole surface is a pencil. I am demonstrating this by writing the word pencil. Now you'll note my sticky notes. One of my students gave these to me last year. They're from Media Defender, everyone's favorite company. I don't know how he got those, and I didn't ask, but it's always a pleasure to use them. Anyway, okay, so now I'm going to read to you from Little Brother. We pop free like champagne corks an eternity later, blinking in the gray, smoky light. The air raid sirens were still blaring, and the sound of emergency vehicles' sirens as they tore down Market Street was even louder. There was almost no one on the streets anymore, just the people trying hopelessly to get underground. A lot of them were crying. I spotted a bunch of empty benches, usually staked out by skanky winos, and pointed toward them. We moved for them, the sirens and the smoke making us duck and hunch our shoulders. We got as far as the bench before Darryl fell forward. We all yelled, and Vanessa grabbed him and turned him over. The side of his shirt was stained red, and the stain was spreading. She tugged his shirt up and revealed a long, deep cut in his pudgy side. "Someone freaking stabbed him in the crowd," Jolu said, his hands clenching into fists. "Christ, that's vicious." Darryl groaned and looked at us, then down at his side. Then he groaned and his head went back again. Vanessa took off her jean jacket and then pulled off the cotton hoodie she was wearing underneath it. She wadded it up and pressed it to Darryl's side. "Take his head," she said to me. "Keep it elevated." To Jolu she said, "Get his feet up. Roll up your coat or something." Jolu moved quickly. Vanessa's mother is a nurse, and she'd had first aid training every summer at camp. She loved to watch people in movies get their first aid wrong and make fun of them. I was so glad to have her with us. We sat there for a long time, holding the hoodie to Darryl's side. He kept insisting that he was fine and that we should let him up, and Van kept telling him to shut up and lie still before she kicked his ass. "What about calling 911, Jolu said. I felt like an idiot. I whipped my phone out and punched 911. The sound I got wasn't even a busy signal. It was like a whimper of pain from the phone system. You don't get sounds like that unless there's 3 million people all dialing the same number at once. "What about Wikipedia?" Jolu said. "No phone, no data," I said. "What about them?" Darryl said, and pointed at the street. I looked where he was pointing, thinking I'd see a cop or a paramedic, but there was no one there. "It's okay, buddy, you just rest," I said. "No, you idiot, what about them? The cops in the cars, there!" He was right. Every 5 seconds, a cop car, an ambulance, or a fire truck zoomed past. They could get us some help. I was such an idiot. "Come on, then," I said. "Let's get you where they can see you and flag one down." Vanessa didn't like it, but I figured a cop wasn't going to stop for a kid waving his hat in the street. Not that day. They might just stop if they saw Darryl bleeding there, though. I argued briefly with her, and Darrell settled it by lurching to his feet and dragging himself down toward Market Street. The first vehicle that screamed past, an ambulance, didn't even slow down. Neither did the cop car that went past, nor the fire truck, nor the next 3 cop cars. Darrell wasn't in good shape. He was white-faced and panting. Van's sweater was soaked in blood. I was sick of cars driving right past me. The next time a car appeared down Market Street, I stepped right out into the road, waving my arms over my head, shouting, "Stop!" The car slewed to a stop, and only then did I notice it wasn't a cop car, ambulance, or fire engine. It was a military-looking Jeep, like an armored Hummer, only it didn't have any military insignia on it. The car skidded to a stop just in front of me, and I jumped back and lost my balance and ended up on the road. I felt the doors open near me, and then saw a confusion of booted feet moving close by. I looked up and saw a bunch of military-looking guys in coveralls, holding big, bulky rifles and wearing hooded gas masks with tinted faceplates. I barely had time to register them before those rifles were pointed at me. I'd never looked down the barrel of a gun before, but everything you've heard about the experience is true. You freeze where you are, and time stops, and your heart thunders in your ears. I opened my mouth, then shut it very slowly. I held my hands up in front of me. The faceless, eyeless, armed man above me kept his gun very level. I didn't even breathe. Van was screaming something, and Jolie was shouting, and I looked at them for a second, and that was when someone put a coarse sack over my head and cinched it tight around my windpipe so quick and so fiercely that I barely had time to gasp before it was locked on me.
So you're all set with Verizon Fios and your multi-room DVR, Mr. Garnett?
So you mean whatever I record here, I can watch over here?
Yes.
Or here?
Yes.
Or here?
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
And here?
Yes.
That's cool.
An amazing multi-room DVR with picture-quality PC magazine called Stunning. This is what happens when Verizon brings fiber optics straight to your home. This is Fios. This is big.